Okay. All right. So, hi, everybody. I'm psychic medium Donna Frasca, and welcome to Spirit Chats. And today, Vivian Alexandra is my guest. We chatted before, like what, about 2 weeks ago or something, I think it was. And you were just so fascinating. I'm like, okay, I think we chatted for an hour. I'm like, all right, that's not enough time. We need more. We didn't record it, so we're recording it now. So, all right. Yeah, so you are just incredibly fascinating. So I just wrote down a few notes of some of the things that you do so you can go in detail about quantum channeler you are. Now, how does that, first of all, what is a quantum channeler and how's that different from regular channeling, or is there a difference?
Well, that is a great question. The reason why I call it quantum channeling is because I feel like since I awakened, I just became a conduit for the quantum field. And for me, the quantum field is very vast and it involved me being able to tap into different dimensions, different realities, and connect with different beings, which
Wow.
is why I like to use the word quantum when I refer to different things that I do, because I feel like sometimes words are so limiting.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, I think our definitions are being expanded about what it truly means to be a channeler or a psychic medium, and our gifts are expanding. So I
Yeah.
like to use the word quantum to kind of elaborate that it goes beyond just a very cut and dry definition.
So maybe I'm going to call myself a quantum medium.
Ooh, that'd be really good.
Ooh, I think I like that. So I think, I mean, some people channel just with angels or just with spirit or just with their guides or just with just. But when you say quantum, it's bigger.
Yeah, it's a plethora.
I
It
like
could
that.
be, but it
Yeah.
depends, right? I think
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone has a different journey. And in my case, I was just exposed to everything, the whole spectrum. So I've had interactions with angels, seraphim, galactic beings, different indigenous councils, elementals, different gods and goddesses, you name it, which
Wow.
is
So
really why I like to use the word quantum.
quantum suits you to a T. That's all. I mean, can we talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit about your connection with the angels? Because I love, as a clairvoyant, I can see them at times, and I have a really close relationship with them as well. So, I mean, do you? I mean, how do you connect with the angels?
It's so interesting. It's like I don't connect with all of these at the same time. There are different periods of my life where some just come more into my view than others. So there were moments where I was channeling more like angels and the seraphim. But what was cool is I just had a memory right now as you were saying that, where I was driving and I saw a huge flashlight. And at first I got scared because I thought, oh man, like the speed camera got me, and
Oh, oh,
took a flash and took a
yeah.
picture of my license plate. But then I was told that no, that was actually like an angel.
You have to be careful with those flashes because there was a time when I saw all these flashes on the side of my, this one particular eye, and you have to be careful because, you might have a detached retina. So I had to go to the eye doctor, had it checked out. It was all good. But yeah, I mean, they can present themselves as flashes of light, as color, as a feeling, or actually seeing them, so it's now which angel is it? So it might be a seraph. I'm not sure. The one that has, I think, 8 wings or six. One, two, three, four. Which one is that?
Yeah, the seraphim that you're talking about, that's
Right,
multiple
right,
wings
right.
and
I
multiple
think they
eyes.
have one, two, three, four. Do they have 6 or 8 wings as they're described as having? They have a lot of wings. The ones that have, they're. I remember I took courses on angels a long, long time ago, and I read somewhere that they say if you see the seraphim, you're not supposed to see them. Human eyes are not supposed to see them because they're so, of course, angelic. But you're not supposed to. They didn't say you're going to go blind or you're going to die, but they were not meant to be seen by human eyes because they're that high in frequency. However, when I did a reading once, I actually saw one and I was able to paint it. And I mean, that just took my breath away. Working with angels and all the, seeing the wings just wrapped around, somebody's chakras and stuff. And you're right though, when depending on what's going on in your life, is the angel that will show up. Like if you're not feeling well, perhaps Archangel Raphael, will
Mm.
show up, or you know, and what's great about angels is you don't have to call in one particular angel. They just show up, like you said, as needed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've had more interactions with like Archangel Michael, for example.
Yeah,
I think it
he's
just depends what kind of work you do.
yeah, he's the number one that everybody just calls in, who's your favorite angel? Michael? Which
I
which
know
which it should be because he's like the boss. You he's
he's a really good teacher when you're trying to learn how to have interactions with more darker entities from a space of sovereignty.
oh, definitely.
He's really
Yeah.
good, so he's
And
more like that
he
kind of
would he would be the one because he's depicted as seeing his foot stepping upon Satan, upon evil with the sword. So he's the protector. So what
yeah.
you said is spot on with the. I just love talking about angels. I mean, we could just go on for a whole nother episode of spirit chats of just angels. But all right, so yeah, sometimes titles get in the way. Oh, I'm a psychic medium, I'm a quantum this, but sometimes we're all just what we are. And it's really hard when somebody says, "Oh, what do you do? Who are you?" It's like, well, I'm just quantum. I think that's I'm just quantum. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
would
right.
love to just say that, but then people are like, well, what do you mean?
What do you mean you're just quantum? What does that mean? I'm like, well, you know what quantum means? That's me. That's you. Oh, I love that. It'll certainly give them something to think about if you say that.
Yeah.
Hey Vivian, what do you do? Well, who are you? Well, I'm just quantum. It just sounds so cool too.
I just think that, society has gotten all of us used to like defining ourselves with simply being in a box or a label, but then you realize that you're just so much more than that. And
Yeah, I mean, titles are, you know, I kind of like when I meet somebody for the first time, oh, nice to meet you. What do you do? Well, you do a whole lot, and it's hard to put it into one word or a title. And it's kind of lame to say, well, I do a lot of things. So I wish there was something that we could use to describe ourselves other than putting it in the form of a title. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
exactly. That's why I use the word quantum because I
yeah,
just feel like there's no other way to describe it, I feel like, because all other kind of
it
things
suits
exist.
you well. I like it very much. So. And you said that I read in your bio somewhere that you're also a psychic medium. So yay, join the psychic medium club. So what is your experience with mediumship? Do you do a lot of readings with past loved ones, or just readings on a psychic level? I mean, what type of readings do you do when you do
That's a
in your
very good question.
because it's big. I mean, you can do a lot of
I'm
stuff.
able to see the deceased, but I don't really focus that on sessions. If it comes up, it comes up. But my main focus is when I do readings with someone, it's really addressing any blockages that they may have in their field, in their body, that may be preventing them from moving forward or living in their most expansive self. So normally with a session, I might, depending on what the person needs, I might go into their field and in their energetic body and really see what stagnation there is. Because there could be a whole plethora of issues,
Oh yeah,
anywhere from like any chakra imbalances to maybe their traumatic imprints in the body, either from this life, from previous lifetimes, from parallel lifetimes, or
yeah.
even on an ancestral level.
Yeah. Or
That
even in the works or something starting to brew, you know?
exactly. So
Wow.
it could be a plethora of things,
Right.
and every session is unique, which is why I really leave it open-ended and I just follow along where like the person's guides take me as to
That's
where to
great.
keep focusing
Yeah.
in that session.
I like to refer to my sessions as intuitive readings because and like you said, anything can show up between mediumship or a chakra reading or just on a psychic level. So like you coin the quantum channeler, I like to just say intuitive readings because it can anything goes. In your hour or hour and a half, whatever it is, anything can just show up in your reading.
Yeah.
So, but I love that you can see blocks. What is that? Is that kind of like what they call medical mediumship, where you could, or is that on an energy level more
Yeah.
so?
Very interesting that you say that because many times I found that when someone has a block of some kind, it also causes physical issues. So sometimes by the nature of just removing that blockage, they just say that their symptoms just dissolve. It
And
just goes away on its
you just
own.
feel better, like uplifted.
Yeah, like for example, it just depends, right? There's so many different things that could be going wrong. For example, I have had sessions where someone has like energetically, but they have like an implant. They have like some like metallic device that I see in their body that is actually causing them harm. And so when I see that, I've been able to remove it. And sometimes, like if it was causing physical issues, people will say that afterwards they told me that the physical issues go away.
Really? And that's just in one session, or is that over time?
No, that's just one session, but it
Really?
depends.
That's
Like
powerful.
it could be very multi-layered. So sometimes it may alleviate it a little bit, but there's something bigger like that needs to be unpacked layer by layer. But sometimes it's as simple as taking just something out. And I've done that with myself in my own body. Like I found like something that was caught, and then as soon as I took it out, the physical pain stopped immediately. So sometimes it's that fast, but sometimes it isn't. It just depends on the case.
Wow. And
But
what
with
does it look
implants, there's
like?
like positive and negative kinds. Like with any technology, it can be used positively or negatively. So the kind of implants that I see that I've taken out in clients is implants that are negatively affecting a person's life. And so there is technology that is used in good and harmful ways.
So you see these implants as, is it like a physical thing that you see or you sense it? Does it look like a color or shadow or just like a dense area? What does it look like or feel like?
They can be in many different forms. Many times the majority of them that I see are kind of metallic in some way or some kind of tech. And I'll see it energetically, but it's kind of like I can feel it physically in their body too, if that makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. Yeah.
But then I'll be able to like remove it and really thoroughly like cleanse the area and everything so that like that can't happen again in that manner.
I love that because if you take something in healing, if you take something out of the body, you need to put something back. So if
Yeah,
you take something out, like a negative, implant or whatever you want to call it, um, some people just say, okay, I just took it out and you're fine now, but there's like a hole there. What are you going to put back? And sometimes people put healing or Reiki or positive affirmations or something back in just to kind of like seal it or heal it, right?
exactly. That's so important. I'm glad you touched on that. And also sometimes like I'll ask if there's since that was like let's say a negative implant that was removed, what is the positive, like the organic,
Or it's opposite, right?
yes, tech.
Okay.
And so sometimes um the team I work with, sometimes they will want to put like something a positive technology in there to replace it that will actually do the opposite and will actually help improve that person's life.
Wow.
Not always the case, but I found that can happen. Or sometimes it's just filling it in, like you said, with a frequency or something like that related. But it's always, like you said, it's always putting something positive to replace it and sealing it up. That is so critical.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do that, like, because I've seen it time and time again where healers would just say, "Oh, I removed this," or from so and so or whatnot. I'm like, okay, then what did you do? Well, nothing. I'm like, well, how do you remove something without, like you said, sealing it and putting it back? You have to complete the circuit. In other words,
Yes.
so fascinating. I mean, we need more of that because there's so many people that are not feeling well. And and it's not because they have a common cold or they're just tired. It's something deeper. And healers like such as yourself who can sense it and see it are so needed just to go that extra level, that extra step to really dig deep into the mind, body, and spirit to find out what's going on. Not only to find it, but I mean, it's like you have a cut and you put a Band-Aid on it. or you just can't put a Band-Aid on it. You have to, well, why did you get that cut? What happened? Let's not do that again. Did you step on a nail? Be careful how you talk. So with those energy blocks or implants, it's 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 good to find out maybe how that happened to prevent it from happening again, but also healing it and sealing it. So it's a whole process, it sounds like what you do.
And
It's
I'm
big.
constantly learning new
I
things
know.
every
And it
day.
changes.
Like I recently had a session with a client, and I didn't know this, but I saw like an item like lodged in their throat that was kind of looked like a sword or like a
Wow.
knife.
Mm.
And then when I asked them about it, they told me that it made sense to them because of something traumatic that had happened to them when they were younger that
Mhm.
was related to that. And it showed up in that specific way that they had an experience with. And I had no idea. Like, I just
What?
saw that thing that was lodged in their throat. And so it was an
Yeah, yeah.
imprint from that moment.
Mhm.
And so then I was able to, like, with them, because I always like to teach my clients how to do these things themselves. So they do it with
Oh,
me.
good. Yeah, yeah.
So we both removed it together and then like put healing energies in that area and cleaned it up and all of that. But yeah, that was something interesting that I recently learned that I didn't know about.
I'm sure some people are saying this point. What do you mean your client had a sword in their throat? Probably thinking like a knife is sticking out of their throat, but obviously you're clairvoyant, so you could see into the body or the energy field and see that there was a sword in the throat. And I understand that. I mean, because when I do the chakra readings, one client had a sword in the heart. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, why do you have? And I saw the heart chakra just all cracked. They had a broken heart. I mean, it's kind of very symbolic, like a
yeah.
knife in the heart, broken heart. I lost somebody I love. Let's talk about that. And then you talk about how to carefully take that sword out and then heal the throat or the heart or wherever it is. Super
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, that's essentially, energetic surgery, what you did in a way.
Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, I know there's a thing such as psychic surgery. I had it done on myself years ago, but yeah, I
I
guess
would say that that's what you did
that
without even realizing it.
you just gave me another title. Yeah, that would make sense. Let me just add that to my resume. Let me just write that. Now I got to retype my whole resume. No, kidding. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a type of what did you call it? Not psychic surgery. What
Like, well, you can call that too,
psychic
just like
surgery? Yeah.
energetic psychic surgery.
Wait a minute. Let's call it quantum surgery.
Oh, okay, that's so much
Okay.
better.
That's good. That's big. Yeah. No, you're right though. I mean, for clairvoyants, such as yourself, who could see these things in other people, uh, it's very beneficial because obviously they can't see them on themselves. Maybe some people can, some people can't. So it's a good service to have to say, hey, you know what? I can do this service because I can see it. And not only can I see it, but I'll find out what the root cause is and I can help heal it. And I can teach you how to either prevent it from happening again or just give to teach you how to make yourself overall feel better,
Yeah.
once that, implant is removed.
Every time I find something, it's asking the body because the body is so intelligent. It's asking the body, asking that area or that organ or that chakra that's affected. I always ask like, what is needed to fully address this? Uh, And that's so important because then it doesn't need to happen again if the person is finally able to address the root cause.
I think once you say it out loud, when you ask your client, a question and they answer it, sometimes when they can hear it or they hear them answer it themselves, like, oh, wait a minute, now that makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? So it's good that you ask them a question and they could hear it and say it out loud and say, well, this XYZ because of, like, oh, that makes sense to them. So it's good that you ask them questions so they can bring awareness,
Yeah.
to,
But what's amazing is I can directly ask the client's body the
oh,
question or their chakra. Like one time I had a client that had an issue with their solar plexus. And so I literally just had a one-on-one conversation with their solar plexus. And I asked them, please show me like what is going on. And they gave me a vision, and I told the client, and they said it was spot on. That they were things that projects that they had to create that they never got around to creating.
Hmm.
And so it was just me having a conversation with their solar plexus. So many times I'll talk with their body directly or that organ directly, and
Hmm.
it'll talk to me.
Wow. So speaking of creativity, I understand you're also an artist.
Yes,
I
yeah.
love that.
I like to
I love
create.
everything about you, Vivian.
Thank you. I like to create channeled artworks based on the things that I experienced in the quantum field visions I've received. But when I do them, I get into like a deep meditative state and I channel in like source energies and high frequency energies. And so it does take like a lot out of me sometimes. So I'll only be able to paint maybe 2 hours a day or space it out more because I'm directly imbuing a lot of energy into each of these paintings. And that's why I also sell them in different mediums, like as a tote bag or as an art print or even as a little travel bag, because simply by having my painting on in some way, you're receiving the benefits from the energies in
Yeah,
that painting. And my painting, that work will work with you with what you need uniquely for you.
that's that's awesome. So let's say you have a tote bag that apparently you sell. So make sure you give me your link to all those websites. So having your clients have this tote bag with that art that you created will give them a visual or a reminder of that journey of healing that they had from you. So if they should stray away from, you know, how that, I'm just going to call it an injury happened, once looking at your art and looking at the colors of the design or the tote bag, that might snap them back into their healing. Say, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to go back to the way I was. And focusing on your art will keep them in that healing energy field, so to speak, I guess.
I think it's really what I love about my art, since it's well, we're talking about quantum, right? I call it quantum art because I believe that my interpretation for the art can be different from someone else that is looking at it. So I try to not give too much detail as to why I created a certain piece. It's more about when they look at it, what they feel, what frequencies, what colors attract to them. And when they meditate, they can even meditate on it and receive the energies that they need.
Maybe you should do you do blankets as well, like a big old fluffy blanket?
I haven't done. I've thought about it.
You know what? That would be, I feel like a new service is blooming for you, Vivian, like a quantum healing blanket. So we could take your art that you had connected with your client, make a fleece blanket, one of those nice, really soft, fuzzy ones, and have the client either meditate or sleep with that healing code on their body.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
Shoot, I'm going to do that. No, I
I
think
mean,
that's a great
we
idea.
all have that power, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just once you're able to tap into it,
Hmm.
and art is universal. It transcends language. It transcends the ego,
Yeah,
the mind,
definitely. And I
and
love
that's
that based on the colors or design composition that you use, everybody picks up or sees something differently, different.
exactly.
I love that. So of course you're also a writer because you're on Substack, and we'll be including your name in the description. This is also going on YouTube. So and so you write about, what do you write about? I mean, just your experiences with your healing or your art. What are the things that you write about?
That's a really great question. I write about the things that I learned in my own spiritual and healing journey, but also any channeled messages that come through. I feel most motivated to write when I think about other people that are having these kinds of experiences without understanding why, and because I know what that's like to not understand what's happening to you, or to not be able to put a name to it, or to be dismissed by other people thinking that you're crazy. And so I I'm motivated to write so that there are resources out there to help anyone that is going through these experiences. It's not what you would consider traditional, even by spiritual circles, because not everyone has love and light experiences.
Right.
And my journey has been to navigate the light and the dark And so I also write about the dark components because I want people to know that there is a way forward and that they don't have to suffer in silence and that they can approach things from a sense of sovereignty
Yes.
and they can that they can heal. And so I believe there's a lot of power in that, but someone has to start by putting that out there.
I love that you mentioned, the light and the dark, because life is about balance. I mean, even the stuff that I write about, mediumship and art and color and all this unicorns and lollipops, that there's days when, just recently, like a day or two ago, where for whatever reason, I'm just in a bad mood, and I'll just write something on a lower frequency, just to express the way I feel, just to get it out and say, you know what? I feel like crap today, and I don't know why. Can we blame it on the planets or the moon or whatever? Do we have to blame anything? Or just that, I mean, I feel that our body it goes through constant changes, like, and our energy changes around us constantly. And it's hard on the body, on the mind, body, and spirit to one day when, the vibes are high and the frequencies are high, and the next day through geomagnetic storms or whatever reason, it's harsher. And walking into that, it hurts, on a spiritual level. And the way the body reacts is in stress, anxiety, anger, being in bad mood. But then maybe the next day or a few hours later, it'll shift and it's like a whole new world. It's just wild how things can change within 24 hours.
Yeah. But also like what we were saying in the last session, right? It's like there are all these kinds of entities and spirits. And so if you're someone that when you awaken, you have those experiences, it can be pretty scary if you don't
Yeah,
understand them
definitely. Yeah.
and if you don't have the tools to deal with them.
Hmm.
And so that's also why I write a plethora of different things so that people know that, it doesn't, they can approach things from a space of neutrality. And they
And
can also stand their ground when if they're having different experiences that, the majority of people don't.
And I think that's important that you do write about those, dualities of light and dark. So if, like you said, if when people go through it, they can say, okay, so I'm not crazy. This is an actual thing, or it would pass, or this is what I need to do to overcome it in, let's call it, the spiritual classroom. So through your writings, you're teaching everybody to, hey, you know what, if you experience this, it might be because of whatever. So in other words, they're learning through your expression and your experiences, which is very, very important to somebody who perhaps has not gone through something, and that they benefit from what you write.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep
And
writing,
all I thank you. And all I can say,
writing.
I can only write from my experiences, from my
Mm.
perspective, and all the things I learned from that. So of course, right, someone else might not resonate with it or might understand it, but not completely. So that's why I can't say definitively, this is the way it is for everyone. I can only write based on what I've learned.
So, you also, in one of your bios, I read that you're Ascension guide healer. Does that also fall on the under the umbrella of your quantum channeling, quantum slash
Yeah,
healing?
so what I mean by ascension guide is like what we were saying. Some people have a really abrupt spiritual awakening and they see the light and the dark, high vibrational beings and low vibrational entities and beings. And so and also when certain gifts come online, it can be a shock to the system sometimes. And so I try to help people navigate that so they have like a gentler time on their journey.
Now, what recommendations would you give for that? I mean, I know for myself in 2014 when I just exploded. I mean, I've been experiencing things my entire life, but in 2014, everything just exploded. And I was seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, what are your suggestions for people who just, like you said, get this explosion of awakening? How do you deal with that? What do you recommend to them?
Wow, that's a really great question.
I'm asking all kinds of great questions today.
It can vary by person, but I would say in general, I think one thing that I wish I had in the beginning of my journey would be being able to learn how to properly cleanse myself because especially when you have your third eye open, you might be even seeing things that are your own belief, your own fears and blockages. And so being able to cleanse, especially the lower chakras where a lot of the fears are held. So being able to really know your body, start cleansing your chakras. So you're also a clear channel because if you don't know, like you have to be careful about when you're channeling or receiving things to verify where you're getting that information from. And if the entity, the being, that the spirit you're interacting with is of the light and is also telling you the truth. And so I think it's so critical to learn how to cleanse yourself first, establish good boundaries with your field and having boundaries in your home. And also learning to read into the energies and to get really good at being able to discern, okay, this is has good intention and this doesn't.
Now,
Because not everyone like has love and light experiences. And so there could be someone that experiences everything. And if they don't know how to distinguish between the energies, if they don't know what to ask, then they might not know the information they're receiving is actually the truth. And so that's why I'm very much against people that just tell you, oh, just channel, like without telling you at all, like how to channel. And then not everything that you channel might be from a positive being, from a high vibrational being. And to know like what we talked about even in previous months since we've started communicating, there are low vibrational beings and not all of them are evil either. Some of them are just dark,
yeah,
but they have good intentions. They work with God.
yeah,
And so you have to learn to discern all of these things. And so I don't think it's something that you should just throw yourself into without really understanding what it is you're dealing with.
yeah,
So I
definitely.
think learning the foundation is really important. Or having someone you can reach out to that has already done this and knows like how to properly get you set up.
Yeah. And discernment is such a huge part of this journey because I mean, as you know, that uh, there are beings or energies, whatever you want to call it, that come across as something beautiful and they're not. You know, they're not. And I say that, I mean, for the past, again, since 2014, Spirit has put me through a classroom and showed me all kinds of stuff. And this one example that I like to explain about discernment is that what you see is not always what you think it is. For example, one day I'm just sitting in my guest room, and these pearls, these beautiful pearls, just went right in front of me with my physical eye. I was looking outside the window, looking at the birds and flowers, and right to the left of me were these beautiful pearls. I'm like, ooh, wow, that's really pretty. And I was like all happy and giddy. Then I heard, yeah, no, wrong. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, hold on one second. And then here comes the discernment. First of all, who just said no to me? You know, who was that or what was that? And what or who were these pearls? So first of all, the person that the energy that said, nope, that's wrong. I had to say, okay, well, who are you? And I heard guides. But what that moment in time taught me was in discernment was to whenever anybody, myself, sees something, even if it's beautiful, if it's a child, a flower, an angel, just to stop for just a little moment, run it through what I call the checklist. And this is where discernment comes in. What does it look like? And these are the clairs. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it, I know for it to be true, you know, do I feel safe? And if everything is good, 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 then I'll proceed and like, okay, hi. But if there's one thing, like let's say the solar plexus, where it says, nope, don't trust that, I will not proceed and just say, okay, not liking your energy, you know, and I'll just dig a little bit deeper, say, okay, who are you? What am I talking to? Are you an angel? Are you a spirit person that's just an earthbound person who likes to cause a little trouble? Because yes, they're out there. And anyways, it's a matter of going through like I said, what I call a checklist, our senses. to proceed, to be able to discern, right from wrong, a denser energy from a lighter one. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important to be able to convey to people how important that is, and to also teach them how to discern what you see. And because
Yeah.
pearls sometimes just aren't pearls. Sometimes they're just little troublemakers on a string. You know. Uh-oh, look, I'm wearing black pearls today too. Uh-oh.
Ooh, with the
Oh.
eclipse, it's on point.
Oh, look at all these little eclipses. I love it. I love these little new moons, a whole bunch of them. Oh my gosh, I love that. I just happen to. It's 111. This is my time I connect with spirit.
Whoa.
I love, just gonna breathe for a second. I just love that we're talking about all this amazingness, made a connection to my black pearls, to discernment, and that we are in a new moon and all the solar, activity going on. This is a moment. Let's just take a moment, Vivian. Let's just take a moment. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So we're just about 45 minutes in. Again, I mean, this is our second conversation. I could literally go on for another hour, but we're 45 minutes in, and Vivian Alexandra, thank you for joining Spirit Chats. Please find her on Substack, and I will include all your information. Send me the links, and you can find you're on YouTube. I'm assuming, right? You're on YouTube.
I'm on all the social media channels, and Substack is where you can get a lot more insights from me than you can anywhere else. But I also just want to make a quick note that I also just published my first book, My Journey Through Ascension, which is about,
Congratulations!
thank you.
And how do we get a hold of that book? Where can we
Yeah,
order
so I have the link up on my Substack profile,
it?
and
Okay.
it's available on Amazon, it's available on Apple, Kobo, like you name
And
it.
what's the name of your book?
My Journey Through Ascension.
That's right. Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, this was fascinating on a quantum level. As my word for the day. So again, thank you very much for joining me here on Spirit Chats.
Thank you,
And
Donna.
we need like another part three to talk a little bit more about things.
We
Exciting.
do.
We do, we do. All right, Vivi. Thank you so very much for joining me today on
Thank
Spirit Chat.
you.
Okay, bye.